everybody. Good morning and happy Wednesday to you. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and this is Project Joy Live. It's your triple shot of good vibes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at the 9 a.m. Eastern Time hour. You may notice that I am not, my camera's a little different. My sound is likely really different, and my background is different because I am in a different part of the house today. So I started having some stuff going on yesterday and I needed to rest, but I so wanted to share today's topic with you. It's so important to me to share it. I was like, I'm coming live anyway. I'm doing it. It's happening. So thank you for being with me this morning. Wherever you are in the world. And I appreciate you being here for our topic today, which is joyful resistance when you don't fit the mold. And we have had several topics lately where we've talked about the joy in releasing, the joy in letting go. And this topic ties sort of into that same frame of mind, same thought. And so I'm excited to dig in with you on it in just a few minutes here. So good morning. Let me know where you're joining from and what is bringing you joy today. What is bringing me joy today? The fact that I am all right today, that I'm able to be here with you, and that I'm in charge, that I get to come and if I want to, sit propped up in a different side of the house, that I can do that. And that's bringing me a lot of joy. It also brought me a lot of joy. I attended a meeting yesterday, and the person may be watching this morning, but I was so proud of this person for the leadership that they stepped into for this meeting, and getting to see somebody step into their divine, power is always a joyful situation for me. So I'm very proud to have witnessed that, and that's bringing me a lot of joy this morning. What else is bringing me joy? I love that it's November. It's getting chilly. Though this morning when I went outside to put my feet on the ground to get some grounding happening, which did help a little bit with some of the spinning that is going on with me right now, but the ground was cold. It was very cold. And so it definitely starting to feel a little nippy out there, and I'm here for it. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's my favorite. So I'm happy about it. So those are the things that are bringing me joy today. Miss Teresa's joining us this morning. Good morning and happy Wednesday to you. And good morning, Danielle, and everybody else that's here with us this morning. We are going to take a super quick break, and when we come back from the break, we're going to dive into our topic today, joyful resistance, when you don't quite fit the mold. So stick around, and we're going to be right back after this. Don't miss it.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and we are talking about joyful resistance today, when you don't quite fit the mold. I'm very excited about this topic because, as I was saying, it ties a lot into some of the other things that we've been discussing on the show in recent weeks, which talks about the joy of letting go and releasing, which I think is sort of a very timely thing for this point in the year. A lot of people are doing reflecting, they're releasing. I know that a lot of people do like the spring cleaning thing, but I always feel more aligned with doing that in the fall because it sort of goes with nature, right? Like where the leaves are releasing themselves from the trees, and in the spring everything is growing and all of that. So I feel better about fall, releasing, if you will. So let me know how you guys feel about that. But so today we are talking about joyful resistance. What happens when you don't quite fit the mold and how that can actually become one of the most joyful experiences of your life, even if it royally sucks in the moment. So what do I mean by the mold? The mold represents societal norms, expectations, groupthink. What groupthink means is when everybody in a group is believing and thinking the exact same way, so you don't have any contrast at all. And what else do we have? Unspoken rules, expectations, a lot of things that the mold sort of represents. And I have often felt for myself that where this topic is concerned, in particular, where society is concerned, I consider myself sort of a little bit of an outlier. And I find myself in this place where I don't really fit in, especially around election time, this is such a fitting topic because we had midterm elections yesterday. And the reason why is because so much, whether we're talking about politics or any of these other topics, and we've talked about this on Beyond 2D. If you guys haven't watched Beyond 2D, second and fourth Tuesday of every month. It is changing in the new year, by the way, but that's been up until this point, second and fourth Tuesday. We're always talking about, what things mean to us and all of these things. And society, I think as a whole, humans as a whole, they want you to take a hard stance and choose black, white, right, wrong, good, bad, red, blue, and it's sort of this feeling of being very binary. And I don't feel like I fit that. And so when we talk about things like politics, people can get very frustrated with me because I will say, well, here's all of these things on this side, but this side's got a real good point with all of these things too. And so I don't do it. I don't participate in that. And it's actually funny because I didn't know this actually until a couple days ago when my friend Tia posted about this, but there was a candidate running for mayor in a town near me who actually refused to pick a party. She wanted to just be a write-in, and she said, look, I'm here for the people. And I was like, man, I wish I lived in that town because I totally would have voted for her, because that's how I feel. I feel like, there's things across the board that I love and things across the board that I don't love. And ultimately, I think we have to go with what we feel rather than to choose one particular thing and think that that's going to solve all our problems. And so where society is concerned, I am not that person that is going to think that one group, one person, one way of thinking is going to be my savior. And so I've always felt like I really don't fit in that way. And then in groups, and in other things that I'm involved in, I often feel like I don't fit in because I don't like to be put in a box. I don't like to be, said like this is, again, with the black white sort of mentality. I don't think that there's only one way to do things, or one thing that's going to make you successful, or one thing that's foolish to me, because if we are all individual people that are very different, then I don't see how one specific thing is going to work for all of those different people around the world. And so I've always sort of felt that, like that I don't quite fit in. And so let me know where you guys are at with feeling, feeling that yourself, whether you feel like you fit in or you don't. Danielle says same. And that's probably why we get get along so well, because sometimes it's really challenging, to be that one person that everybody else is like, no, this is the way it is, and you're like, well, actually, okay, I sort of, that we might come off as playing devil's advocate, or stirring the pot often, when actually all we're doing is expressing our ability to see the multifaceted nature of things. And I think, I'm going to say it, it's a superpower, okay? Because so many humans are just very binary thinking, very one or two sided thinking. And I think it's a superpower to be able to say, well, like, let's look at this. And it also, to me, speaks to a space of courage, a space of being intellectual, a space of being able to examine something, maybe examine 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more facets, avenues of something that you're looking at, and going, hey, I'm capable of seeing this and not feeling like I need to claim it as mine, not feeling like I need to get emotional about it. It just is what it is. To be able to look at something, recognize it as exists, and not feel threatened by it. That is like a huge superpower, in my opinion. So, at any rate, those are some of the things that I feel like bring me a lot of joy when it comes to not fitting in, is realizing that I'm able to see things and not feel like I need to, that I'm threatened, that my own beliefs, that my own standards, that my own values are somehow threatened by the values of other people. So, couple things that I want to talk about today with this topic, is sort of the emotional side first of not really fitting in. Even though there are those things that I see as a superpower, as being joyful, there is an emotional side of feeling like you don't fit in. There is the feeling of rejection, feeling of loneliness, of second guessing yourself, and I've definitely experienced those things. And very recently, actually, um, I was involved with an organization that I really felt like, in the beginning, that it's something that I'm very passionate about. It felt like it was going to be the right fit, but there was a lot of a sort of unwillingness within the community to be loving and accepting, and not just that, but truly inclusive of new people. Now, that's a word that is used a lot lately, and I think that when I talk about inclusivity, I don't want to just see people like allowed to be in the room, but allowed to function as the amazing human being they are in the room, if that makes sense. So not just, hey, you're welcome here, but hey, you're welcome here, and you're welcome here um to share with us your expertise and your superpowers and your things that make you amazing, because that's what's going to make a group as a whole even better, is when you allow people to work from their zone of genius, or their zone of joyfulness, as we've talked about here before. If we're just saying, hey, you're welcome in the room, but you got to go stand over there in the corner, that's not, for me, being inclusive. That's slapping an inclusive label on something, but it's not truly being inclusive. And so and that can happen with people that join a community that find themselves being a sort of outlier or not fitting the mold. People think, oh, like, we're going to let them in, but then those people that don't fit the mold are being shoved in the corner, and not, then they're experiencing that rejection, that loneliness, that second guessing, well, where do I actually fit in, and do the things that I'm amazing at, do they even matter? But the resistance that we feel that I don't really fit in here also builds strength, because it can help us to realign to the things that do matter to us. It can help us realign to and create space for things that are a good fit for the type of outlier that we are. And I experienced this recently with that community that I was a part of. I ultimately had decided that I needed to let it go, because it was such a misalignment. And it wasn't just about the lack of true inclusivity. It was a misalignment where integrity and values are concerned, and I couldn't be a part of it. I refused to be a part of it. And that sometimes goes into, that's why I say this ties in so much to what we've been talking about the joy of releasing and letting go. Because sometimes we have to come to that point when we're such an outlier and we're miserable because we're not being included. We're not able to express the true essence of who we are. We've got to let those things go. And so when I let that go, being a part of this one particular community, it was amazing to me how quickly things started moving in other areas of my life, and other things started to line up. Like, and it gave me more space to explore. Like, think about sometimes I have difficulty when I clean off a shelf. I feel like, oh, this is an empty space, I got to fill it with something. Anybody else? But there's something to be said for that empty space, because that empty space is full of possibilities. Think about the time, like using that example, you clean off a shelf. Okay, you've got this empty space. Your brain now goes with like, what are all the things that I could fill this space with? And if you just let that space stay open, and this is what I'm my big joyful breakthrough moment recently has been, like, if I just let that space stay open, my creativity skyrockets, because there's all these possibilities that come into play. And that makes me, possibilities make me super, super, super creative, exploring possibilities. So that's a big thing that I feel like, feeling that resistance and letting things go and going, okay, this is not in alignment with me, and I'm going to create space here. It can help us build strength. It can help us with realigning with things that are the right fit for us. And it can help us to, you know, improve our creativity and skyrocket our ability to come up with new ideas and all of these things, because we have that space to be able to do it, and we're not being held back during those different things. Danielle said, for me, I don't just go along with the crowd. I question everything. And same, like I've had a lot of I've had a lot of moments lately that are really challenging for me, and I always find myself in these spaces too, where when I'm releasing things and letting go and realigning and all of that stuff, like I will see stuff from even people that I'm super close with, and I'm like, this isn't in alignment, and it's just clear, and I question it, and I'm like, okay, but then you have the fun and the joy of going like, yeah, I'm gonna keep that one to myself. you know um so there is joy to be found in being who you are. And I'm not going to use the authenticity word because we've been talking about that lately. It's just a misused word in general. Authenticity is simply who you're being. You can't be anything other than who you're being, even if you're wearing a mask, even if you're pretending. So there's joy in who you are, who you're being in the exact moment. And who you are in the moment is a magnet for people who are attracted to that being, right? The right people, the right opportunities, and it's important to recognize that, to go, okay, if I am wearing a mask, if I am pretending, if I am being in a way that is not going to attract the kind of people and opportunities that I want, then, it's a shift needs to happen. A shift needs to happen. But it is amazing, for example, inside the Breakthrough Show Network community, there's so much of an opportunity to deepen connection, not just with other people, but also with yourself, about the things that your values, your who you're being, the things that your principles, the foundation on which you stand. And some of these things mean that, going into what we've been talking about, that things need to be released along the way. And that part isn't always easy, whether it's a person you need to let go of, or an organization you're a part of, or something like that. And so I think a good way to gauge if it might be time to consider those things is, if in that space, when is the last time you felt fully you and felt like you didn't have to apologize for it, or you didn't have to take up for it? And then ask yourself where those feelings are coming from. Is it the way someone else has made you feel? If like has somebody else created a space that makes you feel in that kind of way? Or is something coming from something in your past? Are you not able to find the joy in being an outlier, and being someone who's a little bit different, and being someone who doesn't fit the mold? So how do we practice a joyful resistance? Let's talk about it. Number one, pause before conforming and ask yourself, is this my truth? And this is a really important one when you find yourself in sort of a think tank. Again, that's a community of people who all sort of think the same way, and you don't ever have any contrast or anything to put your thoughts, your values, your beliefs up against. So asking yourself, is this my truth? Am I just going along to go along? Am I feeling stifled? Am I feeling held back because of the space that I'm in? Number two, celebrate small rebellions. Celebrate the ways that you show up for yourself. Celebrate times where you speak up for yourself, when you speak up for your truth. Um, and I know that there's that whole argument of, there is no your truth, there's only the truth. But you all know that I disagree with that, because I have said a million times over, I've used the bottle example. We're both looking at a bottle, right? But you're seeing the front label, I'm seeing the back label, sort of thing. And so celebrate the times when you share the side of the bottle that you're looking at. Even when it's difficult, when everybody else is seeing the other side, celebrate those times when you share your truth and what your vision is. Number 3, nurture your energy. Create boundaries to protect your peace. Create boundaries to protect your peace. If you need to step away in certain circumstances, that's what you need to do. I'm in another community, and there was a moment where something happened, and there were people, myself included, that felt like we needed to step away for a minute. And it was said after the fact that somebody said it would have been better if I had stayed. I'll just speak for myself in this. They said it would have been better if I would have stayed. And my response was, better for who? Better for who? Because if something is completely out of alignment with my integrity, if something is completely out of alignment with, a core belief or value that I have, I cannot at this point in my life stay in that space to watch something play out that I don't want my name attached to. You know what I mean? So it's important for us to create those boundaries. And I said to the person, I respect your opinion, but this is a boundary that I've created for myself, and I need to respect that first. Right? Number 4, find your people. Align with communities that embrace the real you, that embrace who you're being, and that are willing, and this is probably something you may not hear when other people are having this conversation, people that are willing to embrace the real you when it shifts and change as you're supposed to. We're not supposed to stay static. We're not supposed to stay in this, one facet person. You're not one-sided. You're not even just two-sided. We just had this discussion. You are a brilliant, amazing, multifaceted human being, and you are supposed to shift, change, and grow. And if there is an unwillingness in the communities that you're in to allow that growth to happen, it can be a real problem for you. And we go back to some of those other things that I just talked about, experiencing rejection, loneliness, second guessing yourself when there's not that willingness within the community to embrace the real you, which the real you is ever changing, evolving, and growing. Right? So it can be really helpful to align yourself with people who also believe that you're supposed to grow, shift, and change. Number 5 is to lead with kindness, resisting things, being who you are, going with the flow, allowing yourself to be the outlier. Those don't have to come with an air of anger and fight and some kind of angst. Resistance can be soft and grounded and full of light and matter of fact. Like that interaction that I told you guys that I had when they said it would have been better if I stayed. I said, for who? And I respect you, but this is not what I'll be doing. Appreciate you. And just as I have the opportunity to then go, okay, I'm good then, I'm done. They also have the opportunity to say, hey, you're not a right fit, and I'll be peace. Goodbye. See you later. It's good. It's fine. It doesn't have to be angry and a fight and a push and all of these things that we hear that standing up for yourself is supposed to look like. So as we move into the rest of this week, we're halfway through. Ask yourself, what is one way that you are going to choose to stay true to yourself this week? And where in your life do you feel the tension between belonging and simply allowing yourself to be? All right. So just something that some beautiful things to think about this week. And all of that said, one of the things that I am most thankful for are my hosts here on the Breakthrough Show Network, and I'm thankful, I'm grateful, and it's always a place of reflection for me this as we enter the holiday season.
Hi, I'm Jessica Dugas. I co-host on Project Joy, and I would say what I'm most thankful for is my friends and family and being on the show.
This year, I am thankful for the lessons that have shaped me, the people who remind me of love, and the creative energy that flows through my everyday life.
I am Olivia Bunny, and this year I'm most thankful for the gift of life and music. This year, music has gotten me through so much, and it's just really shown me how important it is to be present. So that's what I'm thankful for this year.
I'm so grateful for all the people I've met through our show, my co-hosts who I find as my dear family, and the Breakthrough Show Network hosts and co-hosts, and Jessica Dugas, who makes it all possible.
My name is Leah. I'm a co-host on Project Joy, and I'm grateful for my family and joy this year.
And this year, I am most grateful for other human beings who allow me to be fully me.
For the amazing people that I'm surrounded with. I'm so thankful for the accountability, the people that show up even when it's challenging or not convenient, and the love that we share together.
On behalf of everyone at the Breakthrough Show Network, we are so thankful for you as we enter this holiday season, and I'm so thankful for all of my hosts that made the decision to participate in that video. Sang is joining us this morning. I want to address some of the comments really quickly before we move on with the day. I treat everything like an experiential experience. If it doesn't feel good, if it's not for me, leaning into that voice has been a huge shift for me and where I share my energy. An interesting thing about this comment is that, and thank you for that saying, is that I found myself in a couple different places, and then I'll share where I'm at now. One, I found myself in a place where I didn't listen to that voice at all. I'm sure we've all had those times where we have we put our glasses on, we've seen the red flags right in front of our face, and we're like, oh, that's a pretty color red, and we just keep walking. And then there's other times where there was another time where I found myself, like, I see the red flag and I'm like, okay, we're not, immediately going, we're not going to do that. But what I do now, and this is part of what I was sharing, is I take the time to pause and ask myself, what is this that I'm experiencing and where does it come from? So that I'm not creating this immediate reaction, not knowing like what the deal is with it. And I found that serves me really well. Do you find yourself wanting to speak up and don't? Sometimes yes, but for good reason. It's for discernment. I will say this about myself. I tend to have a much, we'll call it a thicker filter than several people in my life. I like we were talking about before when Danielle was saying I question everything. I really relate to that because I do. I think about a lot of things. I think about, like, if I really want to say something, and I mentioned this a little earlier, when I'm in this place of reflection, I will often, and God has been really clear with me about this lately, about showing me quickly what's in alignment and what isn't. And sometimes that will involve the people that I'm closest to in my life. And I will have to say, okay, is this showing me something, or is this necessary for me to say something? And what is this person's relationship with me? Do I feel like me saying something is going to enhance our relationship? And if not, it's not for me to say. And so there's times where I want to say something, but I don't, because discernment. And that's it. But I don't allow myself to not say something at this point that is necessary to say. So I'll say that. Reminds me of Dirty Dancing. This is my space. This is your space. That's it. Find your people. Absolutely. When we are gentle with ourselves, we are gentle with others. Now, see, I love this comment because it's also not been my experience. It took me a really long time to be gentle with myself, and I've always been way more gentle with other people than I have been with myself. And it's the same thing where people say, "Oh, you can't truly love other people unless you love yourself." I call bullshit for that on myself as well, because there's been, again, so many times when I loved everyone else so much more than I loved myself, and it took me sometimes seeing how I love and I'm gentle with and I appreciate other people to go, yeah, I really need to be like that with myself too. And so me being that way with other people has paved the way for me to then come back and do that additional work with myself also. Guilt trips are a fun time. Fun time. That's all I'm going to say about that. The pause is very important in all areas. Absolutely. So thank you guys for chiming in on this topic. And I hope it was helpful for you today, just to give yourself permission to be the outlier, to not fit the mold, and to find the joy in it. And if you find yourself in that place where not fitting the mold is making you feel rejected, lonely, second guessing, number one, you're not alone in that. It is a human need that we have to want to belong, to want to feel a part of something. We're talking about that on Beyond 2D right now. The last several episodes, we're talking about the labels that we place on ourselves because it comes from that very innate human thing that we feel to belong. And there's people that are going to watch us that are going, well, I don't need to belong. Well, what labels have you hung on to? How about mom? How about wife? How about child? How about business owner? How about Republican? How about Democrat? How about I could go on and on and on. What are these labels, that all the labels that you put on yourself and that it's all fine, but they come from a desire that we have to belong, to be a part of, to have importance. And those are all, it's a human thing. It's a human thing. And that's why we're ripping them all off in Beyond 2D this month. So all of that being said, it's a fun time and I'm glad y'all are here for it. All right, you guys, guess what? It's time to do birthdays.
Happy birthday to you.
All right, everybody. In the world of celebrity, Kris Jenner. We had another Jenner birthday Monday. I think it was maybe Kylie Jenner. Anyway, one of the Jenners. Well, Kris Jenner is the big 70 today, 70 years old. Happy birthday, Kris Jenner. Kevin Jonas, one of the Jonas brothers, is 38 years old today. The incredible, whom I saw a couple weeks ago in concert, Bryan Adams, is 66 years old today. And let me tell you, it will always be the summer of 69. Brian Adams is as incredible as ever. He put on a hell of a show. So good. So good when we saw him. And I have a video where I wish I would have, maybe I can bring it up really quick. Hold on. He's singing, some amazing songs, and he looked right at me. I'm going to share this with you guys. Hold on, because you could see he was clearly singing to me, everybody. So I'm going to share with you guys this little clip really quickly here. All right, here we go. I found it. You all see how he looked at me there? Anyway, happy birthday to Brian Adams. One of my favorites. He was absolutely amazing. 66 years old today. Actor Robert Patrick, you might remember him. He turned into the metal dude in Terminator 2. Creeped me out. He's 67 years old today. Actor Sam Rockwell is 57 years old today. Happy birthday, Sam Rockwell. And then in the celebrities in my life, over in the Go Brunch, Marissa Lowen has a birthday today. Happy birthday, Marissa. Also, friends Judy Otten, Nicole Bailey, Gianna Daly, and my little brother, Gregory Cushing, has a birthday today. Happy birthday, Gregory. Let's get our birthday song on. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chris, Kevin, Brian, Robert, Sam, Marissa, Judy, Nicole, Gianna, and Gregory. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating today. I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. So, all of these things being said, let's talk about what's happening this week on the Breakthrough Show Network. All right. So, coming up, let's see. We have Friday morning. I will be back on Project Joy. That is the plan as of right now. Here's the scoop, friends. I am going to the dentist tomorrow. And depending on how that goes is going to depend on what Friday looks like. I'm just telling you right now. I do have two amazing things happening Friday, though. I'm scheduled to be on here Friday morning with my daughter, Margene. We're going to be talking about giving thanks. And of course, she's bringing that teen perspective. And then at 2 p.m., I will be live with returning guest, Ray Coates, who's going to be celebrating the release of his brand new album. We're so excited. And we'll be listening to 3 songs. He's going to be telling all about the story of why this is his most amazing, most vulnerable album project music to date. So excited. So get ready for Ray Coates coming up on Friday, November 7th, 2 p.m. Eastern time. We also have co-working on Friday. We have coffee, music, all kinds of stuff on Saturday. And we also have Dream MVPs on Saturday, excuse me. It's a half-day workshop that I invite you to join us for. You can find it at dreammvps.com. And if you use the code MVP25, you get $50 off. $50 off, and you can join us on Saturday. Don't put it off, because we want to get you in there and get you your worksheets and all kinds of fun stuff. So here's your code MVP25, and you can go and put that in and get you your discount and all that stuff as well. So that's coming up on Saturday. Sunday, there's a new episode of Spirit Sessions, A View of the Light at 12 o'clock, and then we'll be back next week to do it all again. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. I appreciate you. I value you. I love each and every one of you who also consider yourself to be a bit of an outlier, and maybe you don't fit the mold either, and that's perfectly fine with me. I will see you guys next time. I want to remind you to make joy a priority in your life today and every day. I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.